On this episode, we have some very special guests joining us today from Norwalk, Iowa, Dave and Ben Brown. Ben is the youngest farmer to plant Merschman Seeds. Hear their unique story of how Ben started Browntown Farms. Joe gives an update on confusion surrounding the dicamba court ruling.
Hi, this is Joe Merschman. Welcome to Cup of Joe, episode number 46, season 2. Today we have Tommy Johns, but we have a couple special guests today. We have Ben Brown and also his father, Dave Brown, and we're going to talk to them today. And the reason why is we consider Ben as probably the youngest farmer that is currently using Merschman soybeans. Ben, how did you get into farming?
Yeah, so we met a retiring farmer who was getting ready to sell his equipment in an auction, and then we struck a deal with him that said that if he sold his equipment to us, then and he taught us how to farm, then we would buy it, and then here we are now planting 100 acres.
So how old were you when you did? What's your age right now, and how old were you when this all started?
Yeah, so I'm 12 years old right now, and ever since 2 I've wanted to farm, but we really started. We did 84 acres when I was 10 years old.
So what crop this year for 2020? This is your third crop then?
Yeah.
Third crop. So have you done soybeans only, or have you done corn, or what's your current rotation?
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of beans on beans just with the current markets and stuff. So we looked to Merschman because they had a lot of the good traits that we were looking for the beans on beans. And this year we used the Liberty Link Mohawk with the Saltro on it. And we were really happy with how
with the 2.8 right Mohawk and list beans?
Yeah.
Yep.
On the financial part, do you rent your ground or do you own your ground?
Yeah, so this year we did 100 acres and we rent all of our ground, and then we had a 1 acre plot of sweet corn that we own that, and we do that every year. So.
Okay. Are you a no-till farmer, or are you conventional till, or are you headed one direction or the other?
Well, we have a 6-row conservation 7200 John Deere planter, so we were thinking that we rebuilt our planter this year, and we're hoping that it's a no-till. We've been doing beans on beans, no-till, so we're thinking we might do maybe light tillage this year, or maybe vertical tillage on soybean or on corn, and then we'll probably go with the no-till on our planter.
So, Dave and Ben, tell us, I see these t-shirts and this nice polo you're wearing. Tell us a little bit about Browntown Farms.
Yeah, so about 8 years old, I was dinking around in his office, and I came up with a logo with a tractor, and then I did Browntown football. And then we kind of looked around at it, and it became Browntown Farms eventually.
Yeah. So I see you have your own website, browntownfarms.org. Does that just track a little bit of what you're doing? Does that show who you are and what your family's doing, or?
Well, right now, till I get a little older, it's a placeholder, which is like our business card, but it says "Welcome to Browntown Farms."
That's nice. I really like the representation. And Dave, if you could give us a little bit of background of maybe what you do and how Ben became the farmer he is today.
Yeah, well, first, thank you for having us. Very much appreciate the opportunity and the hospitality. My wife and I, we own a 1031 exchange company, and we help a lot of landowners, farmers, agricultural property owners with Section 1031 like-kind exchanges.
Okay.
And through that business, we've connected with lots of folks in ag, and that's actually how we ended up meeting with Tom Hughes and finding that opportunity. And Ben has been passionate from a very young age about farming, which all started with grandpas and uncles and folks, our family from Southern Illinois. So it's in the blood, and it's just really been fun to watch. So I grew up in the country and had a lot of farm kids that were my best friends and I was close with, but I did not farm. And he's had a passion for it since he was young, and had the John Deere hat on literally at age 2, and was helping me work on different things, but just saw the passion and wanted to support it. And this was a remarkable opportunity with Tom, who has just been very kind and gracious with his time in teaching and mentoring Ben.
So Tom is the one that was farming the ground, that rented you out the acres that you wanted to farm, and is also took you out in the tractor, taught you how to drive, plant, do all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Sounds like a very nice person. And then I know I met you guys a little bit through Bill and Kathy Brewer's barbecue, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And we're obviously big fans of Kathy and Bill. They're salt of the earth for us here at Merschman Seeds. So I don't know, maybe you got with them with your business, or maybe with Steve, their son?
Yeah, I know the Brewers. We've known them. Bill and Kathy have been, again, incredibly gracious with their time.
Yeah.
And considering Ben's dad doesn't know much, Bill and Kathy have been the advice and consent folks when it comes to seed selection and helping us out with chemical decisions and planting and everything else. But really the team between Tom and Bill and Kathy and the custom combine operator, Steve and Matt Swackhammer, they've just really helped us along, and it's here we are.
So Ben, what's it like when you call the local John Deere store there in Winterset and say, I need some parts over here right away? They jump too?
Yeah, they're pretty nice and they're great. They're always happy to help and they're always there.
So are you doing a little bit of precision farming? I think I understand that you're starting to get excited about that. That's the next step in your operation, is to add precision farming into your equipment. Is that correct?
Yep. This year we just added Climate Field View, which is an app where you can start making decisions over, and you can it's one app that you can go to and you'll see all your harvest data, your planting data, your spraying, everything.
That's great, because at the end of the day, it's farming, as you know, it's all about pinching pennies and trying to squeak out a profit with all the expenses and all the decisions you make.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing you like best about farming?
I don't know. I'd like to say driving my tractor, but it's probably meeting all the people that help me with it.
You can say driving your tractor, it's okay.
I got a friend of mine, same age as me, I was classmate, and he says he would never do that auto stuff because he said that's why he farms. He loves to run the tractor.
Loves to drive the tractor?
Yeah, he says that's the whole fun. He said that would take all the fun out of farming if we just sat there and had like a robot and watched it plant. So.
Yeah.
But that's part of it, It's part of the efficiency that you head into.
So Ben, did you plant any sweet corn or anything this year?
Yeah, so we did about 3/4 of an acre of sweet corn in our front yard, and that's doing okay. It's first year, so we got a few weeds in there. We bought a 2-row cultivator, so I've been doing that every week, and we have a tiller that we've been working on, trying to get that running.
Yep. So are you you gonna have a farmer stand, sell some of your sweet corn? You gonna give it to the family? You gonna donate it? What are you gonna do with it all?
Well, we're thinking we're gonna give about half of it to the local food banks around our area, and then we'll sell about 1/4 of it on the highway on a self-serve, and then the other 1/4 of it will probably be for the deer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe a third.
Maybe a third.
Or half. Who
Might be
knows?
the coon.
They'll probably help themselves before it's ready.
Sure. Well, that's very nice of you to donate to the local food bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coons like that sweet corn too.
So, as a 50-50 partner, could you say that Ben's making most of the decisions here?
Ben is absolutely making the decisions. Again, with my background, I don't have much of a farm background, but do have the business background, so I wanted to be the support there. But this is absolutely a partnership. He understands, as far as the economics, that he's responsible for his share of the expenses and shares in the profits and losses. But relative to my role, I've really stayed in the background other than supporting him and connecting him with the right people, and of course making sure he's safe.
What a support system. That's awesome. It's very good.
You were telling me that you follow a lot of podcasts and other YouTube videos. You might mention some of the ones that you enjoy. Go ahead.
Well, Molly L. Farmer, I've seen a lot of him. I kind of started with him, and then I've watched a lot like Holy Corn Star, Sunny Farms. They're up in North Dakota. Trying to think. There's a lot out there. Like Ag PhD, I watch a lot of them.
Cup of Joe, of course, right?
Yeah, I watch that.
Well, what you're saying is there's just a lot of information out there. There's a lot of stuff that can help you because there's a lot to know when you farm, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's a very complex business, and there's the production side, then there's the financial side, then you got the weather, and of course the government gets involved too. So I mean, it's for a young man your age to take that on, that's wild. That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, all I have to say is if the future is the next generation of Ben Browns, I think agriculture is going to be okay, Joe.
Yeah, you know, the average farmer is like age 65, so you're really bringing the average down. So we really appreciate you coming in today to talk about your experiences with Merschman Seeds and your career in farming. You know, most farmers only get to plant maybe 40 crops in their lifetime.
Yeah.
40 times. They get 40 chances. You're going to beat that by a bunch.
Yes, you will.
You'll beat that by a bunch. So just think of all the changes you're going to see in your lifetime in farming. It's
Yeah.
just going to be incredible. So
Absolutely. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Probably Bill and Kathy, my team that I have. Swag Hammers, they're great people. Tom, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, well, we thank you for coming in today, and we'd like to just update our folks with a couple things that are pertinent. And one of the things that we've been following last week was the dicamba vacating the label for dicamba on Extend soybeans. And of course that all kind of worked out that EPA came out and said, you know, supplies that were in place, they could be applied. Well, now, as of Friday, the same group that started the lawsuit now have asked for injunction to totally stop all applications. So, you know, I don't know how long that's going to take to go through the court system or not, but we just keep getting more and more. It's almost like a soap opera from the standpoint. And then on top of that, you know, we told you we were concerned about the enlist trait also, and that we did a little more checking. That court case was actually heard up in the Seattle area last May. We actually watched the entire proceedings, which you can get online. And there's a 3-judge panel reviewing enlist dual, which would be the choline form of 2,4-D plus the glyphosate. So that one there is under review too, and they're expecting an outcome on that particular case too, which could potentially cause a disruption in that product too.
Now, Joe, wouldn't you say that the you know, the Extend soybean portion of it versus the 2,4-D enlist side of things, you could see that there's kind of a big difference as far as the due diligence versus Dow and Monsanto in that fact.
Yeah, in other words, when you're comparing the two cases, they're similar but different.
Yeah.
And first of all, we looked at the judges, and 2 of the judges were appointed by Bush, 1 by Obama, and actually, you know, the Obama judge seems to be really on top of what's really going on and asking really good questions. So we think we're going to get a really good, fair review of that technology. And keep in mind, it's enlist dual. It's not affecting enlist 1, which is straight goods choline 2,4-D. So, you know, we think that we're going to get a win on this. It's going to put that one aside and we'll move on, but time will tell. I mean, you cannot predict how these things are going to turn out. So,
would you say some of the reasoning behind that is just because the 2 family sides of the oxens?
yeah, they're both auxins, and you know, as we said before, the dicamba is contact. It seems to move more. They actually, you know, vacated that label more on the movement than they did on the endangered species, where they're going after the endangered species aspect of the enlist dual, and it really boils down to the milkweed that's in the field, not out of the field. There's no problem out of the field. They've conceded that no, there's no problem with the milkweeds around the edge of the field. It's in the field. We're killing the milkweed in the field with the 2,4-D product. And they said the EPA did not study that, and the judges said, well, why would they study that? Because farmers don't want weeds in their field.
Right.
And number 2 is, if they didn't use 2,4-D, they'd use another product that would kill it.
Or possibly move to.
Yeah, and so why is this a problem? So that's the questions they're asking. So we feel that they understand the issue. So let's watch it. We'll keep you informed. But I can tell you, as a farmer today, you know, you got to be respectful of the environment. You got to be respectful of the neighbors, and it's a different. We're in a different frame of mind as far as all these things, and we got to be careful. So, you have anything else to add, Tommy?
No, I just think that as far as that case is kind of going on, I think they're just fact checking as far as due diligence. I think there was a lot of findings that we saw in the dicamba case that kind of raised a lot of red flags for agriculture and the way things are approved. So I feel pretty confident on how that's going to end up. And we've been in front of these two products since probably 2 or 3 years before they were even launched. So we've seen some of these things, and I think that hopefully we can get past this. And I think as long as farmers, I still think what Bob Hartzler said about the dicamba as far as the vacate, we were 2 months too late or a month too early. And I think 2 years too late or a month too early. So I think that we need to get through this season, and farmers don't need to have any more headaches.
No, I agree. We need to get those weeds controlled.
Absolutely.
Try to do the very, very best to put the herbicide on, so least amount of environmental impact. But we will see. We'll keep you updated. And again, thanks for the Browns coming in today. It's a real pleasure to have a story like yours. I mean, as we look to the next generation to steward our soils and feed this country and also the world. It's good to have a guy like Ben Brown that's focused on doing it the right way. So we really appreciate it.
It's the best story coming out of Iowa today, Ben.
That's right.
So.
Well, let's end up this episode with the joke of the day. And this one here is a riddle, okay?
Okay.
What bird likes to stick together? What bird likes to stick together? Velcro. Well, hopefully that'll get you to next week. And again, be safe out there. Thanks for planting Merschman Seeds. We'll see you next week.